Hey, we want to welcome you guys back to another edition of the Life Success and Legacy Podcast. I'm Chris Bay and joined with the founder and king of Life Success and Legacy, actually Michael King Everett. His
Come
middle
on.
name actually is King, believe it or not.
Here we go.
Self-fulfilling prophecy right there.
Oh, you have no idea.
Hey, we're recording this actually on the week of Nelson Nash's birthday. Mike, would it have been his 90th birthday?
Big 9-0. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
And actually the anniversary of his passing is this month as well.
Yep.
So it's a pretty big month here in March. And we thought we'd do something a little bit different. We've been going through Nelson's book, Becoming Your Own Banker, kind of section by section and really capturing the content, but also getting Mike's comments because he followed and knew Nelson so well to give a little bit more color and flavor to what it says in print on the book. But today what we want to do is celebrate Nelson. And so what we're going to do is a little bit of intro, little sharing of memories. And then what we want to do is Mike Crawford behind the scenes who makes us look good and sound good. Mike Crawford's going to attach the documentary, This is Nelson Nash, so that you guys can access that. And if you haven't watched that, I think our intent today is we focus so much on what Nelson said, but today what we want to do is focus on who Nelson was. And that is the man behind the message. So Mike, you've known Nelson for a long time.
Yeah.
And if you were to describe to somebody who's never met Nelson, which is going to happen a lot, and people are going to ask you, what was it like knowing Nelson Nash? What would you say about Nelson? How would you describe him?
Well, you have often referred to me as a sage, as a guy who is just, well, I have some responsibility, and Nelson felt that responsibility. And he's kind, he's thoughtful, he was full of just an intense amount of knowledge that included history and biblical history. But there would be times when his stories, you would become so engrossed in his stories that you would almost be lost in the fact that he had so much information going on inside his brain that you would go, golly, how in the world do you keep that much information stored? So I loved just listening to his stories over and over and over.
We were on a conversation the other day with one of our IBC buddies up in Canada, Richard Canfield, and it was funny. He pointed out, like, you can ask Nelson a direct question that you're expecting, like a yes or no, or some kind of direct question, and he would go into some kind of a parable or an analogy or something. He was famous for teaching those concepts with stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why he used those stories is because he wanted you to do some investigation. He wanted you to dig deep, to dive down, to find out the answers, so that when you are the next in line to share the story, there adds total credibility with the answer that you are about to provide.
You're not just parroting something you heard, but
nope.
You actually had to dig in and figure it out for yourself. Now he was always there to support and help you think through it, but he wanted you to earn that knowledge.
He drove me crazy like that. And you know how I am, probably more than anybody. Yeah. When it comes to I can rattle this stuff off right off the top of my brain, but boy, when it takes time to really dig down and to get into this, that is not my forte.
Yeah.
But yet Nelson created something within me that wanted me to be able to begin to learn, to begin to really, gosh, I don't even know what the word is, to be able to utilize the kind of information, but yet me read, me learn, me dig in, me do all of these different things, because the Chris Bays, the Mike Crawfords, the uh, fill in the blank are on the horizon. I mean, this was all happening before you guys even came into the picture.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, I realize, and we said this to Richard the other day, the huge responsibility that we have to be able to do this for uh, others as they come alongside us and want to learn more about IBC.
One of the characteristics that I really admired about Nelson is he could be in an entire room full of hundreds of people, but during the time that he was having a conversation with you, it was like nobody else existed.
That's right.
He was so dialed into them and asking questions and sharing stories and things like that. It was really a quality that I observed and admired, and don't have it down by any stretch, but it's something to work towards for sure. Mike, what was it like for you the first time you watched in that theater with our team down in Birmingham, Alabama? What was it like watching the documentary for the first viewing, This Is Nelson Nash?
Oh my gosh. You did this on purpose. I guess the fact that, you know, I was alongside Nelson in what I would call the early days of IBC, and that I felt like I was on this journey with him. You know, I have to go back to 2006 when I met Nelson. And I know that just doesn't seem like very long ago, but in our infinite banking world, it's a while ago.
Yeah.
And so as I was watching the movie and, you know, listening to the stories again and hearing some of the things that Nelson, even some of the early days of when he was learning about IBC and implementing it in his own life, there was a real sense of, golly, I know this guy.
Yeah.
I've had dinner with him. He has come to my home. And then, of course, if you really were paying attention to the movie and different features, and they showed that picture in his office where the painting was, my wife actually did a watercolor painting of Nelson with a scripture on it. So it was very, very near and dear to me. And then with his passing of the next year, it was just like, oh my gosh.
I remember when Nelson was coming to Lawrence to do one of his seminars, and you know, we wanted to bless him in some way. We wanted to give a gift or do something, and man, we went round and round trying to figure out what could we do. And I'll tell you what, shout out to Linda Everett and her artistic painting abilities, because where we landed was, you know, Nelson doesn't need stuff. He doesn't want stuff. You know, he doesn't want that. But for someone to take the time, the skill, the talent, and the heart that went into that, you know, we had the idea, but Linda's the one who actually made it become a reality of that picture. So as people are watching the documentary, I thought that was really cool that was in the documentary.
Yeah,
keep an eye out for that, for Linda's painting on the wall.
Yeah.
That was really fun to present that to Nelson. Mike, on Nelson's birthday week, anything else you want to say before we wrap up and let people watch the documentary?
I guess I miss him. I miss him dearly.
Yeah.
I miss the text messages, the phone calls, the wisdom, the just every once in a while when I needed to have a kick in the pants. He knew how to do that, and he knew how to do that for me in a way that would motivate me to be able to push forward in different areas of my life, not just IBC, but personally and spiritually, and as a man, as a husband, and a father and a grandfather now. So I hope to someday be able to emulate the kind of things that Nelson has deposited in me.
Awesome. Hey, from Lawrence, America at Life Success and Legacy, happy birthday, Nelson Nash.
Happy birthday, Nelson.